worse. He says, in fact, shelter management told the municipality a few years back that the situation would be exacerbated if more affordable housing wasn't made available in town. He says instead, some people believe the shelter is actually attracting homeless people from faraway places, and that's just not true.
Sometimes a bit of misinformation can turn someone's opinion, and I feel like that's essentially what we're swimming in right now.
The loss of the tax exemption will cost the shelter roughly $1,000 a year, but Wright says they'll be able to manage. Many residents and business owners want the shelter moved away from the downtown core. Wright says they're not opposed to relocating Viola's Place, but it will only move these problems somewhere else. Josh Hoffman, CBC News, Halifax.
And Ryan's here with the first look at the weather. So some mild temperatures and quite a bit of melting going on today.
Yeah, melting going on today, which will make for the potential for some icy conditions overnight and into Friday morning as all of that water will freeze. So black ice potential for Friday morning, a heads up on that. And beginning overnight, in fact, look at these mild temperatures today. Certainly the melt is on. Friday, the temperatures dropping back below the freezing mark and then plunging for the weekend. Arctic air spilling southward into the Great Lakes and then eventually here into the Maritimes through Friday night and Saturday. We are looking at overnight lows into the minus teens and 20s and daytime highs in the minus double digits and even some teens Saturday and Sunday. The wind chills are going to be bitter on Saturday, easing somewhat for Sunday. This is the front that will move through on Friday with some flurries ushering in that Arctic air. And so, yes, it will be bitter cold, long john worthy weather for both Saturday and Sunday. And then we've got a system at hand Sunday night into Monday. We'll talk about that coming up, Amy.
Okay, details to come. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Officials with a French energy company that wants to develop an offshore wind project in Nova Scotia are in the province this week. Q Energy is a renewable developer with ties to Korean megacorporation Hana Group. Q CEO Junu Lee says he's here to learn about Nova Scotia's energy sector so that his company will be ready when the regulator opens bids for offshore wind licenses later this year.
For example, what kind of a supply chain and industrial player can be available, and here we already met them several already, and also what other stakeholders and community like the Mi'kmaq community, we also start to meet them. So we prepare that once we are qualified and have a more dedicated opportunity that we can continue, we try to be prepared first.
Lee says he met with the Premier and Growth and Development Minister Colton LeBlanc Wednesday. On Thursday, he signed an agreement with the Nova Scotia Community College to collaborate on new training programs for offshore wind. Former inmates often face many barriers after being released from jail or prison, especially when it comes to accessing housing, employment, and even education. As Selena Alders reports, a program at the Nova Scotia Community College is working to help people transition from custody to the classroom.
Less than 2 years ago, Curtis Robitaille was behind bars. Now, he's a student in NSCC's radio television journalism program, thanks to an initiative that helps former inmates earn a college diploma.
They don't treat you as a liability, right? They really treat you as an investment. And that's what I really like about this program is it just changed my life.
The Limitless program is a partnership between NSCC and the province. The Department of Justice invests $100,000 annually to cover the cost of tuition and books for a handful of participants. Dayton Gorey is a student navigator and mentor.
They're the best students because they know where they've came from and they made a commitment to where they want to go.
Robitaille says he spent years struggling with mental health and addiction, which landed him in and out of jail. Most recently, he spent 6 months in the Central Nova Correctional Facility, where he realized he wanted to go back to school.
It was pretty traumatic. There's lots of stabbings. You're always in survival mode, so Limitless gave me an opportunity to get away with that, get away from that.
According to the federal government's framework to reduce recidivism, education is one of the 5 key pillars to help reintegrate people into society.
The benefit to society of these programs, it can't be overstated, right? Because the community is benefiting families are benefiting.
I ran my life amok, so I didn't have anybody that wanted to believe in me, you know? I didn't have the support. The bridges were burnt, you know? So I would have had to struggle on my own. I probably would be living in a tent somewhere.
For Robitaille, he says he's grateful for this second chance and is looking forward to continuing his studies while he works toward rebuilding his future. Selena Alders, CBC News, Dartmouth.
This next story is about a day Meyer Gallant will remember forever. Meyer was offered a wish by the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He told them he'd like to see a Pittsburgh Penguins game and meet his favorite players, including Nova Scotia's own Sidney Crosby. Have a look.
Meyer, how did this trip come to be?
Really good.
Yeah? Tell me how you ended up in Pittsburgh.
Long story. I had a wish and I just really thought about it for a while, and then like a couple months ago, I wanted to meet Sidney Crosby.
Make-A-Wish, they do an incredible job, but what Meyer's experience was completely over the top, and that was because of the Penguins.
My mom told me that we were gonna go in January 13th, and then a couple months, like a month later, she told me that Rowan could come, and then that was the whole story.
And Roe and Meyer have been best friends since they were born, really. You know, there's a little less than a year in between them, and their relationship is just so special. They're cousins, but they are besties at the same time, aren't you guys?
Rowan, what was it like to hear you get to go on this trip?
So happy to be going to Pittsburgh with Meyer and seeing the Pittsburgh Penguins and watching a game. So, like, I was just on my knees, like, imagining how fun it would be.
I went to the dressing room before the game, fist bumped all of them. Then I got to do the starting lineup. Raquel, Crosby, Rust, Kulak, Letang, Skinner.
And what was that like to announce the starting lineup?
It was really cool, but stressful too at the same time.
The whole thing, from a parent's perspective, to be able to watch your child have this experience and be present, to watch his facial expressions and see how all of these players treat it, not just Meyer, but Rowan too. It was just an exceptional experience. And Meyer teased me before we even went, and he said, "Mom, you're going to be following me around and taking pictures and crying the whole time." And I did pretty good, other than when we got into the dressing room and then we turn around and see Meyer's locker all set up with his name on it, with the jersey. And then what did I do?
You bawled.
I cried.
Meyer, spinal muscular atrophy, you deal with a few things that other people don't.
Yeah.
What was this trip like for you?
Pretty cool. Like, really cool. I like, it still doesn't feel real. It was just crazy. All of it was so cool.
There's a view of the beautiful Northwest Arm in Halifax. Ryan's up next with his full weather forecast.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
And Ryan is back with his full weather forecast. Okay, headline number one for the weekend is the bitter cold, but there's another story unfolding as well.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously watching Sunday night into Monday, as I mentioned off the top. And I think the one thing that's going to be the difference with this system that we're watching is the potentially long duration event beginning Sunday night, continuing Monday and Monday night. So that long time frame gives it a lot of time to add up. So the track's going to be key, though, as we will see. No, not at all. Have a look at our high temperatures today just one more time. I want to circle back to this story as well, because these temperatures today obviously caused a lot of melting. And yeah, with that water kind of standing around out there, it's going to freeze up. And we look at those temperatures right now, we're still above the freezing mark, but things will drop below the freezing mark overnight tonight. And that is going to set the stage for some potential for some icy conditions, black ice. So an extra look before you make that first step in the morning on those front steps, because things could be icy for sure. As we look at the current winds, yeah, we're generally in from the west to southwest right now, sustained near 20 to 30. We got some gusts to 40, 50 kilometers per hour. That's going to be the case overnight tonight. Those winds won't really be easing a whole lot. There are the showers from earlier pulling away, and yeah, what's left is a couple of isolated showers mixing to a few flurries, and this is the cold front that we're going to be watching that will roll through tomorrow with a more widespread chance for flurries. And how about the cold air that is on the other side of this front? Look at this. Right now, minus 31 in Winnipeg, minus 30 in Regina, minus 21 in Edmonton, Vancouver's at 5. And yeah, this cold air is going to plunge all the way down to the U.S. South. Snow on the way for Texas, Louisiana, northern parts of Georgia. We'll talk about that in a second. -1 tonight in Yarmouth. Generally, we're going to be in the -3 to -5 range. So certainly cold enough for any of that water standing to freeze up. Again, exercise caution for tomorrow morning. As we look at the timeline, note a couple of flurries overnight and into tomorrow morning, but fairly quiet. And then as we work our way throughout Friday morning, we'll see the chances for some scattered flurries tomorrow. Most prevalent in the southwest, I think, for the first part of the day, and then watching this little wave that's going to push through with the front itself late Friday and into Friday night. This is where we actually could pick up maybe a couple of centimeters of accumulation through Friday evening. Note temperature highs tomorrow near the freezing mark in through the southwest. Will rebound into the general freezing mark for a good portion of the province tomorrow. A little cooler, places like Kentville, as that cooler air will start to push its way in. And there on the other side of this front are the flurries, or along this front are the flurries that could add up to a couple of centimeters of accumulation. Saturday, we're waking up into the -10 to -14 range, and that is where temperatures will stay throughout the day. And directing your attention to the northwest winds. One, because the wind chill is going to be bitter, feeling widespread -20s throughout the day on Saturday. Two, it's that northwest wind that will get some onshore flurries fired up. Could even see some snow squalls for northern Inverness County on Saturday, creating some dirty driving conditions there. Generally, -10 to -14, as we said, from start to finish. Temperatures plummet even further. We're looking at deep -teens and -20s to start Sunday morning without the wind chill. Thankfully, the wind's easing on Sunday. Highs back in the -10 to -14 range again. And here comes our next system. So this system is going to hit a huge population of North America. As I said earlier, from Texas, the U.S. plains, northern Louisiana, Georgia, the Carolinas, and heavy snow from Missouri across through Ohio to Pennsylvania, New York, and the Northeast. Millions and millions of people are going to be getting hit with this, including New York and Boston. And so you're going to be hearing a lot about this storm. Here is what really matters for us. We're on the northern edge of it by a long shot. And so it's really going to depend on this track and whether we're into just the northern tip of it or whether we're into the meat and potatoes. Right now, somewhere in between seems to be the solution, where enough to add up, especially as I mentioned earlier, that it's going to start Sunday night and continue throughout Monday, and even Monday evening. We're still into the snow with this. By Tuesday morning, finally pulling away. But this looks like a long duration event, which, as I said, does leave a lot of time for things to add up. So we're going to be keeping you posted on that. Also, temperatures pretty chilly right into next week, Amy.
That's a lot.
It is a lot, for sure. Digest that. We'll recircle back to it at the end of the show.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, colder temperatures in December brought an earlier start to the ice season around PEI. Warming sea temperatures have impacted ice formation around the island in recent years, bringing a greater threat of coastal erosion. The CBC's Nancy Russell spoke with two experts about the latest weather trends and what they could mean for shoreline protection this winter.
Prince Edward Islanders saw more ice along the shoreline in December than they have over the last 5 years. Warming temperatures in the Gulf of St. Lawrence mean ice has been forming later around PEI, well into January, and leaving earlier, a change from the 80s and 90s when it lasted all winter.
The trend has been going down, but the past 5 or 6 years in particular have been especially low. And those years, I think the average around PEI is around 45 days of ice coverage, so about half of what we were seeing in the 80s and 90s.
This December was colder, and that made a difference.
December was 3 to 4 degrees colder than normal on average, and that area, Northumberland Strait up to Chaleur Bay, and that is also the shallowest, so the quickest to react to cold temperatures. The first year in several years, we actually had a cold start to the ice season.
The shorter ice season over the last 5 years has been a concern for islanders worried about the coastline. Researchers say winter ice provides a protective shield against waves and erosion.
I mean, it's definitely a good sign for erosion this year to kind of shorten the amount of time that the coastline is exposed to the wind and the waves during the winter.
The current thaw-freeze cycle can also have an impact on the shoreline.
Whenever the water melts, it goes into all the cracks in the rocks on our shoreline, and then whenever it freezes, it expands and puts pressure on those cracks and can cause breakdown of the rocks or instability.
Both researchers say they will be watching the ice conditions around mid-March to see how long the ice will last.
So the last several years, by April, so late March, most of the ice around PEI has disappeared or has melted away.
Until then, there is still a lot of winter and unpredictable weather to come. Nancy Russell, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Coming up, the Nova Scotia government has introduced new fines to curb illegal fishing after increasing concerns. The Nova Scotia government says it is cracking down on illegal fishing, adding 31 new summary offences with higher fines to protect the province's seafood industry and economy. And for more on this, we are joined by Kent Smith, Provincial Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture. So first off, how big a problem is illegal fishing in this province?
Well, from what I hear from fishers and from industry, it seems like it's quite an issue. We know from the last couple of years that the Federal Department of Fisheries and Oceans is responsible for enforcing illegal fishing on the water, and in the last 6 or 7 months they've done a much better job. And we also know that this initiative for us is about protecting our most valuable industry, so I'm optimistic that our new compliance unit will have the ability to use these summary offense tickets to deter any potential illegal activity.
Now, what sectors of the fishery are you targeting? Is it mainly lobster?
Well, lobster would be the most lucrative species that we have in our province, so certainly that's the most opportunity for criminal activity, so that would be the most opportunity for us to have an impact.
Now, are these increased fines, such as $25,000 for buying or processing illegally caught fish, a sign that what was previously in place just wasn't working?
That seems to be what I'm hearing from the fishers and the industry associations that I talk to. I've been minister for a couple of years now, and they've repeatedly asked me to look at the summary offense tickets and make the fines more appropriate for the criminal activity.
Well, how many fines do you estimate you've given out in the past, say, year or so?
That would be information we'd have to get from the Department of Natural Resources, because right now the compliance officers under their department look after it, and I don't have that for you today.
Do you have a general sense of if you've given out many?
I can tell you, Amy, that we've got 11 or 12 active investigations underway, and because of the nature that the fact that they're active, I'm not able to elaborate anymore.
Well, why do you think higher fines are the answer?
Well, the industry is quite lucrative, and so we're looking at making sure that these fines match the severity of the crime. So up until this change today, fines ranged in the hundreds of dollars, and with this change, we're looking in the thousands, and as you mentioned, up to $25,000.
As you mentioned earlier, in November, you announced a unit of inspectors to monitor wharves and seafood facilities. I'm just wondering, I know it's been a short time, what have they been able to turn up so far?
Well, when we announced it in November, we announced it was going to be a phased approach. So the first step was moving the positions from the Department of Natural Resources over to the Department of Fisheries and Aquaculture. So that wasn't actually moving people, that was moving positions. So as it stands right now, Amy, we're looking at filling those 4 positions. They're posted. We're accepting applications presently. So once the positions are filled, the summary offense tickets that we've just increased will go hand in hand, and the compliance inspectors will have the ability to use these SOTs to deter illegal activity. So I'm optimistic that by sometime in the early summer, we'll be able to fully stand up the department and be active on wharves and in plants and in facilities.
Do you have any benchmarks or targets that you hope to reach?
The only target that I've really hoped that we can achieve is ensuring that these compliance officers, the compliance inspectors, are visiting every facility that we regulate in the province.
Any particular area of the province that they're targeting more?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, obviously there's a lot more fishing activity that takes place in Southwest Nova, but this is a provincial initiative, so they'll be tasked with inspecting facilities all around the province.
Now, has your department investigated how these tickets would hold up against a treaty challenge?
No, this is not about Indigenous or not. This is about ensuring that all fish that's harvested is harvested in an authorized way, and then making sure that the penalties match the severity of the crime.
But of course, the fishery is not uncomplicated. Are you prepared for that?
Prepared for the complications?
Mm-hmm.
I'm prepared to do everything that we can do to protect our most valuable industry. Seafood in Nova Scotia is a $2.4 billion industry, employs 20,000 Nova Scotians. So my role as minister is to ensure that the orderly development of the sector is upheld. And I think this is another step in making sure that we're deterring any illegal activity.
And how much do you think the province is losing to illegal fishing?
Well, there's estimates out there that about $400 million is unrealized in taxable revenue. So you can do the math on that to say that there'd be quite a number that would be lost to the provincial and federal government in tax revenue.
All right, Minister Smith, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Amy.
Coming up, Prime Minister Mark Carney returns to Canada and is set to meet with his cabinet in Quebec City. And the U.S. is leaving the World Health Organization today. What this departure means for global public health. Welcome back. Now back in Canada, Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke for the first time since his impassioned speech in Davos, Switzerland. Ahead of a cabinet retreat, he had a message for Canadians. He also had something to say following Donald Trump's swipe at him in Davos. Olivia Stefanovich has more on what the Prime Minister said.
In a fortress originally built to defend from an American invasion, the Prime Minister is gathering with his cabinet to plan for the battles ahead.
Our values must be fought for. That's what we are doing. That's what Canadians want. Canadians are up for it.
And for the first time, Mark Carney is responding to Donald Trump's direct criticism at the World Economic Forum.
Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark.
Where the president called out the Prime Minister by name.
Canada and the United States have built a remarkable partnership in the economy, in security, and in rich cultural exchange. But Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian.
Carney delivering yet another impassioned speech, this one aimed at Canadians, after drawing both praise and pushback for condemning coercion by great powers before an international audience.
That was an important moment for the Prime Minister to show his leadership.
Carney setting the tone for the federal government's direction as it navigates growing geopolitical tensions.
We can only control what we can control as a cabinet and as a country, but I'm not going to pretend that it won't be difficult over the next little while.
And faces increasing pressure to address domestic concerns over affordability and a slow economy.
They do have to start to really point to things that they're doing. And people need to start feeling that there's at least some progress, right?
This pollster says Canadians largely understand solutions take time. But for this minority government, there may not be much runway left.
If there's a liability, it's that, and they need to perhaps do better in making people feel that things are going to get better, that create a little more optimism about how things are going to go over the next number of months and years.
Carney says his government needs to execute its agenda fairly and fast, but he still faces challenges translating those words into action. With Parliament set to return from its winter break next week and no sign the opposition is willing to be more cooperative. Olivia Stefanovic, CBC News, Quebec City.
In Europe, alarm over Donald Trump's statements have arguably been replaced with confusion. That owing to Donald Trump's dramatic turnaround Wednesday on Greenland. After threatening to take over the Danish island for months, he suddenly announced a framework for a deal that would satisfy American security needs. But European leaders have doubts about the plan. The CBC's Chris Brown reports.
Whatever arrangement Donald Trump says he struck in Davos to defuse the Greenland crisis, it seems far from a done deal. To begin with, neither Greenland nor Denmark say they were part of it.
I don't know what concrete in it. What I'm saying is that we have a high-level working group that will sort things out.
We're having tremendous meetings with...
The arrangement was apparently hatched between Trump and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, but both kept details vague.
So what are we talking about? An acquisition of Greenland? Are you going to pay for it? I mean,
we're talking about it. It's really being negotiated now, the details of it, but essentially it's total access. It's there's no end.
Some reports have suggested the U.S. could gain actual sovereignty over military bases in Greenland, but Denmark has ruled that out.
A discussion about our status as a sovereign state, it cannot be discussed, it cannot be changed.
That leaves a possibility that Trump climbed down to get something he could have just asked for, rather than threatening to blow up a 76-year military alliance.
It's all very confusing, and it's very hard to find any kind of functionality in it.
Europe's pushback against Trump's threat of damaging tariffs is being seen as a win.
I see that as a reflection of pragmatism, common sense, and sticking to our values and our principles.
We give so much and we get so little in return.
The president's rant in Davos was full of grievances about Europe, and a summit in Brussels Thursday night was focused on how to insulate the EU from more of his chaos.
It is so important for all of us, also for our partners in Washington, to understand the difference between domination and leadership.
Many Europeans see this outcome as their continent standing up to an American bully. The Greenland crisis has badly shaken confidence in Europe's most powerful ally. Chris Brown, CBC News, London.
Negotiations are happening this week to bring an end to the Russia-Ukraine war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky made the announcement after speaking with Donald Trump at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Zelensky also gave a speech there, accusing European leaders of not doing enough to help end the conflict that has devastated his country. Briar Stewart has more.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky met with U.S. President Donald Trump in Davos today for just over an hour. Both sides said the meeting went well, but there were few details. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, along with Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, are on their way to Moscow to meet with Vladimir Putin. However, they won't be there very long. The meeting will be quite brief because both of the men are heading then to the United Arab Emirates. And tomorrow, U.S. officials will be meeting with officials from Ukraine and Russia. Now, the U.S. has been quite positive about how things stand, saying that they believe a deal is reasonably close. Zelensky, in his address at Davos, said that some documents were very close to being signed. It's not clear, however, whether he's talking about an overarching peace deal or documents specifically related to security guarantees that Kyiv has been negotiating with Washington. It is very hard to see just how Russia and Ukraine could be close to a deal, given that Russia is demanding an even greater chunk of eastern Ukraine and all of the Donetsk region. Now, in Zelensky's speech, he spent a lot of time talking about Europe, how he believed that Europe needed to be bolder and do more to defend democracies everywhere.
Instead of taking the lead in defending freedom worldwide, especially when America's focus shifts elsewhere, Europe looks lost, trying to convince the US president to change. But he will not change.
As for the situation in Ukraine, Trump said that in the war last month, 30,000 soldiers were lost, without clarifying where he got that information from. Russia's repeated attacks on Ukraine's energy grid has led to a crisis. Government officials have declared an energy emergency. In the capital in Kyiv, there are 3,000 apartment buildings that are without heat and power. The situation has been made worse by the fact that Ukraine has endured a particularly long stretch of frigid weather. The issue with the heat is such a problem that schools in the area have been closed until the beginning of February. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
At least 2 people are dead after severe flooding hit large parts of Greece. Residents spent today digging out their cars and helping clean up after the torrential downpour. A spokesperson for the Greek government said it received more than 900 phone calls for help in the last 24 hours. The National Observatory of Athens says the city was hit with 170 millimeters of rain over the course of the storm. That is nearly half of Athens' annual rainfall. There's new outrage about the actions of U.S. immigration officers in Minnesota after a preschooler was taken by ICE.
Why detain a 5-year-old? You can't tell me that this child is going to be classified as a violent criminal.
School officials say 5-year-old Liam Ramos was detained along with his father after arriving home from school on Tuesday. They say the child could have been left with his mother, who was inside. Immigration officials deny the child was targeted, but both father and son are now in an ICE detention facility in Texas. The U.S. Vice President is defending the child's detainment, saying the father is an illegal alien who ran from authorities, and ICE apprehended the child for his own safety. The local school board says Liam is just one of 4 students, all minors, picked up by ICE in the past 2 weeks. After a membership spanning 3/4 of a century, the U.S. now sits outside the World Health Organization. Donald Trump had announced his country would leave the United Nations health setting today, as of the exit date, and that decision didn't change. With a look at the potential impact, here's the CBC's Jennifer LaGrassa.
It's a grim forecast for global health, say some experts who are shaking their heads following the United States' departure from the World Health Organization.
This is a very bad thing, not just for WHO, but for the entire world, I would say.
If WHO is weaker, it just won't be able to do its job as well.
That job includes everything from monitoring the spread of infectious diseases, collecting data and rolling out vaccinations for the flu and malaria, to managing illnesses like HIV and tuberculosis. All of that at risk without the U.S., the WHO's top funder.
Our own kids are going to suffer in the future, right? This isn't just about some country far away. It matters to every one of us.
Funding cuts have already axed jobs at the WHO, hollowing out programs. Continued cuts mean some diseases could get worse. For example, tuberculosis, the leading cause of global deaths by a single infectious agent, is expected to kill an estimated 2 million more people by 2030.
There are a lot of exciting developments for TB, even in terms of the treatment regimens. So any cuts on that front would significantly reverse progress in the TB space.
And with the U.S. on the outside, some say it could limit their access to the WHO's health data.
The United States is used to being front in the line for innovative vaccines and treatments. When the next health crisis hits or the next pandemic hits, we could be at the back of the line.
While the U.S. says the divorce is final, it's legally not, according to some experts. Along with a one-year notice, the U.S. needs to pay outstanding dues, which total more than $260 million. A senior spokesperson says that won't be happening.
The president is acting unlawfully, but there's basically nothing we can do about it.
A senior health official says the U.S. will still be a leader in global health, but experts say they're not sure how without a seat at the table. Jennifer LaGrassa, CBC News, Toronto.
Oscar fans have 52 days left until the big show, and now they know who the winners might be. And to present the nominees, here's the CBC's Eli Glasner.
It was back in April when Ryan Coogler's outrageously original vampire movie Sinners opened. Not a typical time for an Oscar contender, but the movie from the director of Creed and Black Panther was a box office monster. And now this combination of music, Southern Gothic, and gore has set a new Oscar record, earning 16 nominations, beating out movies like Titanic and La La Land. Now, before today, it would have been a safe bet that one battle after another would have been the Oscar frontrunner, the revolutionary action comedy from every cinephile's favorite director, Paul Thomas Anderson, cleaned up in previous award shows. In the end, it took home 13 nominations, including acting noms for Leonardo DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor, Benicio del Toro, and Sean Penn, but not for young lead Chase Infinity. It was a good morning for the Canadian makeup and production design teams behind Frankenstein, filmed mainly in Toronto, but it was an animation where Canada really shined, with both Domi Shi and Maggie Kang nominated for Elio and the Netflix sensation K-pop Demon Hunters. Also, once again, the National Film Board has another Oscar-nominated short, this a beautifully constructed animated film called The Girl Who Cried Pearls. Wouldn't be the Oscars without snubs or surprises. In terms of snubs, one of the biggest was for Wicked for Good. No nominations, not for Ariana Grande or even Best Song. Meanwhile, F1, starring Brad Pitt, you may have heard of him, raced into the Best Picture category. Neil Diamond fans can cheer on Song Sung Blue for Kate Hudson's nomination as the wife of a Neil Diamond impersonator. And Ethan Hawke squeaked into a very tight actor race, getting a nomination for his work in Blue Moon. Love that film. And finally, the success of Brazil's The Secret Agent and Norway's Sentimental Value really underscores how Oscar voters and audiences worldwide are increasingly embracing non-English films and stories. Eli Glasner, CBC News, Toronto.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
We're back to wrap things up, and you're off for a couple days, and that mailbox just filled up, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely full, and quite a few pictures of the northern lights in there, which have been making some appearances where the clouds have been breaking enough to see them, and in some cases, just enough.
Okay.
Have a look at this picture. We're going to zoom in on Amherst, or just in that Amherst area, and have a look at this one from Philomene.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Terrific
that
shot.
Surreal, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah, and some other pictures from that area. Diane Irwin, thanks as always for your picks as well. Breaking through the clouds in a similar form. So yeah, just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Thanks to Philomene and everybody for contributing. Have a look at our temperatures tomorrow. So we're dropping below the freezing mark tonight. Reiterating that chance for some black ice and some icy conditions tomorrow morning as things freeze up after that melt today. So please be careful tomorrow. And then, yeah, temperatures are really going to plunge as this Arctic air sinks southward Friday into Saturday. We're really getting into the mix Saturday into Sunday across the province. And that colder air is one of the reasons why we're seeing this storm system develop, which is going to impact so many people across the United States and into Canada as well. Southern Ontario, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and then, yes, for us here as well. As you can see, beginning Sunday night, continuing through Monday night, even into Tuesday morning. And so, yes, the track is certainly key, but that timing is a big factor as well. If your back is aching just thinking about this, thankfully, with the temperatures cooler this time around, that snow is going to be fluffier.
Okay,
so it won't
so
be
a little
that
lighter lift.
oatmeal-like stuff we were shoveling earlier this week.
You're always looking on the upside, aren't you?
Trying.
Well, a town in southern Ecuador is once again a sea of bright yellow. Thousands of guayacan trees have blossomed following the first seasonal rains of the month. The annual phenomenon covers 400 square kilometers of dry tropical forest. It occurs only once a year and lasts just days.
Every year, tourists flock there to walk community trails and take in the natural spectacle.
That's very cheery.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.